One of the Star Citizen community members posted a question via Spectrum to CIG in regards to Vulkan and HDR and essentially the timeline for it. And what we're gonna do in this video, we're gonna go over the response from CIG and some of the new info that was revealed through this Spectrum post. So let's just get straight into it. So the initial question says Vulkan HDR update 4.0.x inquiry about Vulkan HDR update timeline. The question is, first, I want to thank you for the incredible work you've done with Star Citizen. The release version of 4.0.0 is a major milestone, and it's exciting to see the game continue to evolve and push the boundaries. I want to ask about the long-awaited Vulkan HDR implementation. These features have been highly anticipated by the community, and I'm curious if their release is planned. Now that 4.0 has been launched, updated Vulkan integration and HDR support would be great, especially for those of us with high performance setups who are eager to experience Star Citizen in its full visual potential with better 1% lows. If there's any updates on the timelines for the current development status for these features, it would be greatly appreciated hearing about them. So with this question being posed, Ali Brown from CIG then responds with this. The focus of Star Citizen recently on the code side has been stability and quality of life improvements to existing features, especially after rolling out the server meshing and huge impacts it has had on the game. As a result, the Star Citizen team hasn't been able to take a full new version of the engine in a while because this would bring potential instability and slow down the quality of life improvements for players, also likely preventing regular and timely releases, all of which are critical for continued engagement. But Squadron 42 team has been road testing Vulkan, which is enabled by default for them, along with high dynamic range and multi-threading rendering. So hopefully most of the kinks are ironed out by the time they reach Star Citizen, though I won't be able to predict when exactly that will be. We're also considering changes internally that would allow Star Citizen team to improve easily, take on piecemeal updates to the engine into the live release to reduce the risk of instability for lower risk features systems, as we are of course eager to get all the new shiny features into the hands as soon as possible without compromising the player experience. So with the new mandate from CIG focusing on quality of life improvements and stability for 4.0, they are essentially slowing things down in terms of making engine updates in regards to graphics themselves. So now when we speak about graphics, we're essentially talking about how good things look in the game as well as performance optimization while looking good. Ali essentially elaborated and provided a list of features that is currently being actively worked on right now. And the very first one is ray tracing. It says ray tracing BVH. I'm not exactly sure what that means. It says this is required for ray tracing and is usually complex and expensive in most games, but even more so with our skill and moving zones. The next one is ray tracing global illumination. It says this takes good progress and has been started to be actively used in Squadron 42. However, there are still improvements required to several areas before it's ready for prime time. Ray trace reflection. For the first version, these will use screen space colors for objects on screen and simplified material representation for objects off screen. Currently, there are still some issues with noise and blobbiness to resolve. The next one is screen space probes. The system triggers and combines results from global illumination and reflections. The next one is going to be character decals. It says here the tech will be used to place things such as scars, wounds, and potentially tattoos. The intention is for it to be used by cinematics, Squadron 42, character customizer, scars and tattoos, and dynamic damage weapon impacts. That's going to be really cool once it finally comes out. The next one is Vulkan. There are constant improvements required for performance and stability for Vulkan, and we're frequently adding new extensions to enable new technologies or optimizations. Planetech V5 Genesis is going to be a big one, which they are actively working on, which is really good to hear. It says that this is a huge change to how we distribute all content on Planet, with the goal of much bigger visuals, performance, and provide more power to gameplay systems for things like harvestables and minings and creatures, etc. So that's going to be a huge one. that I'm really looking forward to. Video memory, it says we're overhauling how video memory is budgeted to force developers to remain in budget while giving players explicit control of how they allocate their memory to each graphical effect. And results should be better performance for everyone, as low video memory looks to be our number one GPU performance issue. And the last one is damage map compression. Damage map allows for accurate damage and salvage across our ships, but the networking of this data has been a significant cost. So we're compressing these maps down to a fraction of their raw size, such that each packet of data is a maximum of 32 kilobits. So at the end of the day, he's essentially saying that it will take a while. They can't give dates, but it will take a while due to the fact that they don't want to make huge engine updates. And what they're looking into is seeing if they can release minor updates in regards to graphics. That will essentially decouple it from the main branch for graphics updates, so that they can release it all the way up into the live environment without compromising server stability and performance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the link to the Spectrum post. This way you can give it a read yourself. Before I let you go, I'd like to let y'all know that my organization, Phase 1 Industries, is now recruiting new and veteran players. If you are interested, you can find our Discord in the description down below. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe. I'll catch you guys on the next one.